Next on Broadway Profiles, the company man, Broadway vet Matt Doyle, talks to us about the upcoming musical revival of Company, his stellar Broadway resume, and much more. Plus, history has its eyes on Broadway. Miguel Cervantes sits down with us to talk about the emotional return of Hamilton. And Scout's honor, Celia Keenan-Bolger returns to her Tony Award-winning role as Scout in To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is Broadway Profiles, presented by Broadway.com. Thanks for being here for Broadway Profiles. I'm Tamsen Fadal. Well, the countdown continues. Now less than 2 months away from the return of our biggest Broadway musicals. The first performances resuming in early September. But the new staging of Company returns in November, starring Katrina Lenk, Patti LuPone, and a ton of other great stars. Paul Wontorek is here with the story.
Matt Doyle was already in performances in Company when the pandemic shut down Broadway. Now the veteran of hits like The Book of Mormon and Warhorse is anxious to get back on stage to play a groom having second thoughts about getting married today. So Broadway's coming back.
Yes.
How do you feel?
Overwhelmed, grateful, emotional every single hour about it. Yeah, I think that it's so surreal to be standing here and looking at that after all of the trauma that we've all collectively been through. My dressing room is right there. My water bottle's still there. Everything that I did, like all the pictures that I hung, and it's all right there. My costume is hung, ready to go. And I have completely forgotten the show. So it's so strange that everything's ready to go, and now I'm like, well, I have to relearn the entire production.
Company is such a New York City musical, and I think right now everyone wants to focus on New York City and getting tourism back, and this is about a bunch of neurotic New Yorkers, basically, right?
Yes.
So do you feel like you're in the ultimate New York show?
We always said Company is the perfect musical to bring Broadway back. It's about New York City, and it's about being alive, not alone. But alone is alone, not alive. And we've really hung on to that, and I think our producers found value in that and realized that they needed to bring this show back, and that it was really, really important that it was here on the other side of this awful, awful pandemic.
You are playing Jamie.
I am.
Who is formerly known as Amy.
Yes.
There's a little bit of a gender swap here. What other things does this production have in store for audiences?
Oh, well, first and foremost, our lead character, Bobby, is no longer a bachelor, but a bachelorette, played by the glorious Katrina Lenk, who is stunning in this show. It really is amazing how just swapping the gender of the character completely modernizes everything and brings it into a contemporary setting. And all of a sudden it just works, and no text had to be changed. And it's just flipping the script in the simplest of ways and having just this profound effect on the actual piece itself.
Which is amazing because it's 51 years old, this show, and it was so contemporary and modern when it came out, but I guess these human emotions are just sort of evergreen.
Well, my favorite thing that Marianne said about Company and the piece itself is, I don't know if I buy that a 35-year-old man in New York City would be criticized for not being married at this point. In the 70s, of course, but today I don't know if it really comes across anymore that he would face such scrutiny from his friends. And now you put a woman into that role at 35 years old, and it suddenly works again. And it makes you realize that the rest of the text, this unbelievable text that George Firth wrote, is timeless, completely timeless. Yeah.
So Jamie is marrying his boyfriend Paul, and he's having a wedding day jitters, and you get to sing this iconic Sondheim song, "Getting Married Today," which I believe is one of the most complicated Sondheim tongue twisters ever. Is it as hard of a song to perform as it seems to me?
Yes, it just takes a muscle memory and training that I've never really done on a piece before, because because it's so fast, there is little room to just discover it organically. It really is far more calculated than any piece I've worked on before, because it's just the fastest song I've ever sang in my life.
Any favorite lyrics in there?
Oh yeah, I would say, I telephoned my shrink and he said maybe I should come and see him Monday, but by Monday I'll be floating in the Hudson with the other garbage.
Literally, that was the lyric I was thinking of this morning.
Yeah, that's my favorite lyric in the show, because I think I felt that so many times in my life.
I can't believe I haven't asked you about the biggest thing, which is you're co-starring with Patti LuPone. How's that?
Amazing. I'm like the biggest LuPone stan, as the kids say. I love her so much. My favorite thing about Patti is that she is an ensemble member first, and that's something that I guess maybe I didn't really anticipate, is that she really is about the work first and she's about the company first. I have really, really valued my time with her, learning from her and just getting to know her. She's hilarious. I mean, she's blunt, she's fierce, she's brilliant, and just this like force that I love being around. And she's been so supportive and so kind to me. Heart keep racing, let's make mistakes, let us say so much and make words, mama's already breathing.
You're definitely going to want to go back for more. Broadway is serving up a second helping of Waitress. Grammy-winning composer of Waitress, Sara Bareilles, will step into the role this September at the Ethel Barrymore Theater. Waitress had actually ended its Broadway run 2 months before the shutdown, but now the musical will be back for a very limited engagement. Waitress, along with Hadestown, are slated to be the first Broadway musicals to return beginning September 2nd. Miguel Cervantes has a history with Hamilton, a veteran of more than 1,200 performances in the Chicago production. He just stepped into the title role on Broadway when theaters went dark. Well, now he's coming back September 14th as a $10 founding father. Charlie Cooper sat down with Miguel at one of the theater district's hottest restaurants, Bond 45.
I have to ask you about the first night. What are you most looking forward to for the first night back?
Well, I'm gonna tell you a story, right? So I was in the Broadway company in 2016 before I went to Chicago, and I got to see Lin-Manuel Miranda do his last performance. When he came out, Alexander Hamilton, it was just unbelievable, the way that the audience erupted, right? And I thought, that's really cool. And then we opened Chicago, and there was this sort of eruption of the Chicago opening. And then we closed Chicago, and there was this eruption of joy and the sound because we were closing the show. And I thought, that will never happen again. I'll join the Broadway company. It'll just be the next guy playing Hamilton, and we'll just, on we go. And then when I leave the company sometime, it'll just be the next guy. So those sort of things, those sort of milestones don't really happen. Now, it's happening again. We will have this moment, and it'll be for Hamilton, it'll be for Broadway, it'll be for the world, it'll be for New York City, it'll be for lots of different reasons that there's this, dun, 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 and then when I come out, I know there's gonna be this ovation. And it's not for me, you know what I mean? It's not for me, it's for the idea that we are back, we're here and we're returning. And I get goosebumps even thinking about it. I'm like getting all emotional. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is the emotion that we will all feel. Like we are gonna, us, the audience, everyone will be sharing in this, sharing in the emotion of the moment.
Do you miss the round of applause? Like, you've been gone for a while. Are you like, every night, are you like, I want to hear that again?
I mean,
as
look,
silly as that sounds.
There is, I talk about this a lot in terms of people's jobs, right? I have a great job. I get to do this, make money, support my family, and I feel super lucky to be doing this job. There's lots of jobs in the world, lawyers, dentists, accountants, whatever. And when they finish their job, people don't clap at the end of their day. You know what I mean? But when I finish my job, people clap, and I get to, and it's not, yes, is there a part of me that's like, oh, it's beautiful to know that there's a joy that I bring, that people are drawn to clap for me. But mostly what it is the power that we have as actors to elicit emotion, right? To make them cry, to make them laugh, to make them clap. I mean, that's a superpower. Superpower we all have. Oh, I miss that power to be able to look out at the audience and see someone smiling or see someone clapping. And I miss that more than anything. Is to just, because that's one of the beauties of theater, is making people feel. And so yeah, I miss that a lot.
Out this weekend, Shmiga Doon. It's the new musical comedy streaming on Apple TV+.
What?
We can't leave. It's like magic. We're in an actual musical.
Please, God, no.
It's a hilarious love letter to Broadway. Shmiga Doon features a cast of Broadway royalty, and it stars two veterans of sketch comedy, SNL's Cecily Strong and Keegan-Michael Key, who made his Broadway debut in 2017's Meteor Shower.
We're in a musical, okay? Nobody gets killed in a musical, except Oklahoma, and Carousel, and South Pacific. Oh, hello, West Side Story.
That's all the musicals.
A big event coming up on Broadway. Disney is reopening the New Amsterdam Theater this month with a benefit concert from July 22nd to July 25th. Disney on Broadway stars Ashley Brown, Michael James Scott, Kissy Simmons, and Josh Strickland. They'll perform some of Disney's best-loved songs. All the proceeds raised will benefit the Actors Fund. The New Amsterdam Theater, by the way, is home to Aladdin. That musical returns on September 28th. It is a treasured New York City tradition, a tradition that took an unfortunate hiatus in 2020 because of the coronavirus pandemic. But now Shakespeare in the Park is back at the open-air Delacorte Theater in Central Park. The Public Theater presents an all-new modernized production of Merry Wives. I went to Central Park to catch up with the show's star, Jacob Ming Trent. So what's it like to be going back on stage?
It's amazing. I missed it.
Yeah.
You know, it's been like, my life since I was 12, theater. And to come back here is unbelievable. The audiences here are so enthusiastic. They're excited, so they're like a big participant, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we feed off of each other. It's like a big community event, but you can't beat this. This is one of the most famous stages in the world, so you can't beat it.
Let's go ahead and talk about the actual show and the performance.
Merry Wives, Falstaff. Outrageous character, full of life, full of spirit, fun. But, he lives inside this community that kind of wants to re-educate him a little bit. And so in this process, you'll see him do some very crazy things, and the community decides to come together and teach him a lesson. I think the message is timely because it has a lot to do with cancel culture, how a community can re-educate one of its citizens, one of its people, and then embrace them and bring them back into the fold.
Aaron Sorkin's To Kill a Mockingbird returns to Broadway this October at the Shubert Theater. Last time we heard from Jeff Daniels, who's stepping back into his originating role as Atticus Finch. And now Celia Keenan-Bolger, who's also reprising her role as Scout. It's a part that won her the Tony Award. Take a look.
Scout is an 8-year-old girl and a 41-year-old woman.
Both a little girl and the woman she became.
Looking back on a specific summer in her life and trying to figure out if the facts of that summer line up with her memory.
The first line of the play, which is hers, is something didn't make sense.
Scout is fearless and spunky and curious and moral. Social justice was such a major theme of my family. I was dragged to every union protest and parade, and there were, socialist meetings in my parents' living room when I was growing up. So doing what was right on behalf of your community was something that really resonates with me. And I always sort of thought that that would be something that would be reserved for my life outside of the theater. And so to get to be a part of this story, which has things to say about the world that we're living in, I can't believe my life that I get to play this part.
When we did the first read-through, just for the sake of this read-through, just so we can hear the play, let's have grown-ups read the kids' parts. And Celia was one of those grown-ups. We made it clear to Celia, this is just for today. You won't be moving on with the play. Celia was at the table with only a couple of hours' work, was doing a magic trick with the slightest adjustment of her posture, with the slightest adjustment of her voice. She effortlessly went back and forth. Listen, I've been a big Celia Keenan-Bolger fan for a long time, but she is giving a really stunning performance in this play.
There's a line where I say that we were being asked to rise, to raise ourselves to the level of a just God and assume his work, that is the purpose of being in a courtroom and trying to find justice. I just think, That's the goods. That's Sorkin at his best.
Don't go anywhere, there's still plenty more to talk about on this edition of Broadway Profiles. Coming up, from TikTok trend to making virtual musical theater history, we're catching up with the Pulitzer Prize nominated creators of the Ratatouille musical. This is Broadway Profiles, and we're back in just a few. By just about every measure, 2020 into early 2021 was pretty awful. But for the guys who wrote and produced the Ratatouille TikTok musical, it's been one heck of a year. Broadway.com correspondent Charlie Cooper is here with the story.
Patrick Foley and Michael Breslin are the talk of the town. First, they went viral for their Ratatouille TikTok musical. Now they're Pulitzer Prize finalists. I spoke to the dynamic duo in the theater district.
Did you guys ever imagine that it would be such a hit? This TikTok revolution that you guys have put together.
Yeah, what's amazing is that the TikTokers on the platform made it a hit before we even really got involved. So we just brought it all together with the whole team and launched it into the next level. It was really fun.
The whole idea for us, at least, with writing the book was just to like lift up that material and showcase it as best as possible. We knew we had Titus as Remy, so we were like, we can really make him the narrator and lean into that. And then I remember we did our sort of like final reading. It was like me and my sisters who met home and Michael in his family's place in Jersey, like on the phone doing French accents. And then obviously the cast. We could not have anticipated the generosity of these amazing artists who agreed last minute to just give us their holiday time for this amazing cause.
Let's talk about the Pulitzer Prize and Circle Jerk. How the heck do you guys feel? Like,
crazy.
That's huge.
It was huge.
It was a surprise.
It was a major surprise.
Yeah.
I texted Patrick 5 minutes before the announcement being like, they're announcing the Pulitzers, LMAO. But it's amazing, and I think it relates to everything we've been talking about in that the theater world is ready for new forms of making it and also distributing theater, which is really exciting to see also with Hamilton on Disney Plus and What the Constitution Means to Me on Amazon Prime. There are all these, new examples of how to get theater out there.
We've talked about it before, but even without live theater, there are still plenty of opportunities to see so many of our great Broadway actors on TV. Christopher J. Hankey has joined the cast of the hit Fox medical drama, The Resident. He talked to us about his experience on set and much more.
The Resident centers around the family and the employees at Chastain Hospital. And our beloved fellow theater nerd and handsome star Conrad Ricamora joined this season, and I play Conrad's husband, Greg. It's been kind of effortless, and I have to give props to my fellow castmates. Most of my scenes are with Conrad Ricamora, with Bruce Greenwood, and Jane Leaves. And we all four come from the theater world, so it's kind of felt like a little ensemble. So it's actually been really, really easy, and I have to give love mostly to Conrad. I would love to be back on Broadway when Broadway comes back. I think that I'm most excited just to be in a theater, like as an audience member, just to be, I want to feel that because it's going to be, and you're going to be there too, and all of our friends and colleagues, it's going to be exciting and electric.
Still ahead, the unrivaled emotion of live musical theater. We're talking to another one of our great Broadway veterans about why she's just got to dance. We'll be right back. Nina Alfarga is a veteran of half a dozen Broadway shows, most recently Frozen, but you've probably also seen her in the movies and on TV in Smash, Fosse Verdon, and The Irishman, and so many more. We talked to Nina about why she's just gotta dance.
Hi, I'm Nina Alfarga. I feel like as far as back as I can remember, I was always performing in some way. I'm half Cuban and half Trinidadian. I grew up with most of my Cuban family, so there's a lot of music, a lot of singing and stuff at family parties. And so from very young, I started casually performing at home. I really think I had a friend at school that went to dance class, and I remember thinking like, oh, that sounds cool. And so they enrolled me in the local dance studio. I started taking dance when I was 7. And that's kind of where the training began. I just thrived, like I just lit up as a kid, and you couldn't take me off the stage. We didn't really make it to New York to watch musicals very much when I was really young. But then once I got to New York, and I saw friends that were in Aida at the time, and I was like, oh, this choreography is awesome. It was the first time I thought, oh, I could do this. I feel very grateful. Everything I've done has been something that I really felt like drawn to and passionate about. We work really hard. I think people see the glitz and the glam of it, and perhaps we make it look easy because that's our job. It takes a lot of work to make it look so easy, and it means so much to us. It's a great, great blessing, really. I never take it for granted.
And that is going to do it for us. Until next week, I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is Broadway Profiles, presented by Broadway.com.